welcome to another Unity Mobile Dev from Scratch tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'll show you how to put your webcam feed onto a plane, or in the case of your mobile devices, the feed from the camera. So this will work on PC, iMac, and also iPhone and Android devices. First thing, we'll need a plane to put the feed onto. So in the hierarchy, we'll go right click, 3D object, and create a plane. Now I've got a 3D world going on here, and you could easily do this in a 2D world as well. So let's just orientate this plane around so I can see the textured side in the camera's view. Now we need to write a little bit of code that's going to put the webcam feed on this for us. And I've created a C# file called webcam display. Now you're going to be quite surprised how easy this is. These are the lines of code you need, and this is pretty much all. So we have a start function. Inside that start function, we're going to create a webcam texture called, funnily enough, webcam texture, and create a new instance of that. And then we will set the renderer of the plane. So this code will actually sit on the plane. Its material main texture to be the webcam texture that we've just created. And then we say webcam texture.play. And that's it. Your feed will come up on your plane. Now, just before we actually run it and I show you how it works, we want to add our webcam display code to the plane. And if we click on the plane, we can see that it has a default material. Whatever the material properties on your plane, that's the way that your video is going to play. So if you want shadows and that sort of thing over the top of your video, then you would play around with the shaders on here. If you want your video to show very clearly and brightly and not be affected by any lights or shadows that are in the environment, then you need to put an unlit texture on the surface of your plane. So first of all, let's just create that. So I'll create a new material, and let's call it webcam matte, and I'll drag and drop that onto the plane, at which point I will come into the settings in the inspector for that plane and change it to unlit and then texture. You can't see this in your feed, but just off to the side in this drop down list for unlit, there is texture. Right, so now the light in the scene will not affect your video feed. So here's a program built out to my Android tablet, and as you can see, I've got a live video feed of Merlin, the famous Merlin, who you might hear snoring in the background of some of my videos sometimes. And it's quite hard to orientate because the plane itself is upside down. If you have a device that has more than one camera, and most mobile devices do, they have a front and back camera, then you can specify which one you want in your code. So before you start playing, just after I create the texture, I'm going to add in this line here. And you can get hold of the particular camera using the device name or setting the device name. And in this case, we're setting device name to device0.name. And this will get, by default, the outward facing camera, so the one that's not facing your screen, yourself, like the one you take selfies with. Or if there's only one camera, like it's on an iMac or something, it will just get the main camera first. If you want your other camera, then you would just put a 1 in here, and that gets the second camera. If you happen to have 3 cameras, I guess you can put a 2 in there for the next one. So if you want to use just the default camera, you don't need this line, but if you want to pick which one, you can change that between 0 and 1. You could also put some kind of UI in there as well, like a button that allows you to click on it on the screen. It would change from one camera to the other.